Hi there, welcome to the first episode of Checking In with LuVa. This is a space where I'm going to try something out. I've been thinking and wanting to share my experiences, thoughts for a long time. And first, I thought I wanted to do it via Instagram. I tried last year with a colleague, friend, where we talk unfiltered, unapologetic on several topics regarding motherhood, living a life with purpose, and things like that. But due to restriction of Instagram, that you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, that possibility got cancelled. You might wonder what was the live called. It was called I See You, Let's Talk. Um, we tried to do these lives because most of the time, when for certain for myself, if I wanted to record a video, I was going too much into my head, and then it would be a little bit awkward. So I thought to myself, how can I make it more natural, more innate to my element, my nature? And I remember then when I just share my thoughts, reflect, review, tell stories, and things like that. I'm in my element, in my zone of genius, you would say. So I thought, okay, since Instagram is not an option for me right now, how can I create a possibility to still show up for myself? Because for many years I thought I should have a perfect script, something really polished, filtered, so to show up. But it's more natural for me if I'm just in the moment, sharing, speaking, reflecting. So this is this stream. Initially, I was thinking about scheduling like 3 or 4 times in a week so I can go live. I'm going to try it out. Um, I will try to post in advance a few hours when I'm going to think, but initially, I'm going to try on Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays around noon. So I think if you're working, if you want to listen in and join in on the conversation, you can do it on the lunchtime. Oh, yes. The time is Amsterdam. I live in the Netherlands. Who am I? I'm LuVa. I'm a mother. I'm a daughter. I'm a wife. I'm many things. But what I discovered of, or mostly got aware of, is that I'm very intuitive, very intellectual, and I'm at the best if I accept both part of myself. So I'm intellectual and intuitive. I'm an artist. I'm a researcher. I'm both of those things. So this is checking in with Luvas. It's more low key. It's like when I call my friends or colleague and we just talk and share our experiences and things like that. It goes more naturally. And I've gained many insights by talking to people about myself, but also other that person in particular. So I thought, let's try this. The first topic about today I want to address. I was thinking, why um, do we struggle most of the time to try to show up perfectly? I think from the beginning, we have been trained, yeah, conditioned that you have to fit certain molds, comply to certain measurements to be able to show up. And for instance, if you see someone along the line once they are successful and things like that. You don't see the behind the scenes. How do they get there? Um, from the moment that I can remember, I've always been someone that can deeply reflect, talk to many people on different subjects. I'm very passionate about many things that could. I have seen that as a problem, but now I'm starting to embrace all parts of myself: the creative part, the intellectual part, the gaming part, the human part, the mother part, every part of myself, and try to discover and who I am and what it takes to be my true authentic self. Because I feel once you know that, you're able to show up as your authentic self, and in that way, um, be true who you are, and then yeah, coexist with other people. Um, I've been asking myself, if today's the 1st of June, you can say 5 months already have gone by of this year. What did I accomplish? Because my productive intellectual side of me always goes there. And on paper, it doesn't seem as much if I compare with last year. Um, I have two children, one son. He's 12, turning 13 this year. And last year he was in group 8 here in the Netherlands, as before you go to high school, voortgezet onderwijs. And I remember from January till approximately the end of March, I was very busy checking all the schools because he had to sign in for at least 8 schools. So I think in the end, I visited like 10 to 12 schools at different times, like, for instance, only information time, moments for only parents or caregivers with him, or joining open houses and things like that. Um, Managing life, being a mother, being a wife, starting my own business, um, as a creative and as a intellectual and coach, and managing life. And if I look back a few months ago, I was asking myself, okay, I realized and came to understand who I really am, but who am I if I peel all these roles of these versions of myself? So if I peel back being a mother, being a wife, being a caregiver, um, I was also helping at school with English, with reading in my son's class. I also have a daughter. She was by that time in group 5, so it's the end. They are in a Montessori school system. So the first 2 years, there's kindergarten. They are in the same group and same class, and then grade group 3, 4, and 5 in the same class, and 6, 7, 8. So group 5 and 8 are like the final level of that class, you can say. So there's many milestones and things that have to be taken care or addressed, that also taken care of. I was also helping with schools. I was like a contact ouder. It's like a parent, I think, if I can tell you exactly what it is the contact person between the teacher and the other parents to manage things like school outings, activities. So, in short, I was juggling many balls, many projects, and by the beginning of this year, I was talking to my mindset coach, and I was telling her that I was feeling that I can keep doing that, but it was not sustainable for me. Um, I know who I am, but um, I didn't know what I need. If I would ask you, do you know what you really need? For me, for instance, I can tell you from the top of my head in instant what my children, my husband, or other person might need. But if you would ask me, what do I need? I don't know what that is. And I realized that I've been performing all my life. I think many of us might have done that. Um, so I'm very good on fulfilling many roles, many projects. But if I have to put myself first, then I might struggle because I realized I've been trained and conditioned to always be on alert, ready to cater and take care of everybody. And in the process, I realized I didn't get to know myself. Um, I know it's a process, and I've read many books, joined many seminars and workshops and things like that. Intellectually, I know a lot. I really love the books and the teachings of Abraham Hicks, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Sue Morter, to mention a few of them. But I started to say, okay, talking to my coach, I was getting a little bit frustrated to tell you the truth. So intellectually, I know what I should do. I know what my brain is doing or thinking. Over the past few years, I started to understand that. I know, I think I know by that time um, what my body needs, like foods, sleep, water, and things like that. But the nitty-gritty, I didn't know that. And I found it quite funny. For everything, there's like a manual, a book, a guide, how to take care of a plant, just to say something basic, or a pet. If you want to get a pet, a dog, a cat, or anything like that, there's a lot of information on the different stages of what is the optimal, what they need um, for a baby. Even for that, there's book many information out there how to tell you how to take care of the baby, um, starting from pregnancy, even before pregnancy, and in the later development. It's mostly catered, don't get me wrong, for the baby, for someone else. But if you would apply the wisdom of, like, if you're going on an airplane, um, in case of emergency, you have to put the oxygen mask first on yourself so you can help others. I realize I know I should put the mask on, but what exactly should that mask provide me? If you can understand exactly what I mean. So I thought, since my children are entering the preteens ages, and I wanted to work on myself, get to know myself. Um, I was thinking, okay, if I peel all these layers, all these roles about myself, what is there? Do I know what I need? Because my coach has asked me many times, and I truly cannot say. And it was getting a little bit frustrating sometimes because, okay, I know many people tells me that can do this and can do that very efficiently, very good, but why I cannot achieve that? And I realized the big epiphany came, I think, around February. I was reading a book, and I realized your mind, is wired to keep you alive, safe. But intellectually, you might know everything, but if in your body, in your heart, you don't feel safe, you won't change. It's like having like two parts in you. Like your brain wants to keep going, but your heart doesn't feel safe to go or to change, so it will keep pulling back. So once I realized it, that that fear and it was okay. I had to cry by the realization that all my life I was in survival mode. I think many of us can relate to that. So intellectually, I know what to do. I know if something happened, how to take care of everything. If I would get sick, I know how to do a quick fix, a triage to keep on going. But um, we have never learned how to be your true self. So you have been trained, conditioned, always depending on the external validation or the mirroring of other people, um, how you should perform. And because if you are truly being yourself, you many of us didn't have the environment or the nurturing, um, how if you be your true self, how you can accomplish being alive. So I think when I got this realization, I thought, okay, how do that look like? How do it look like? How to apply everything that I've learned, experienced over the many years through workshops, books, you name it. How does that look like when you apply it in real life? Um, since I didn't come across until now how to do that. So I thought, okay, um, let me do it myself because by watching other people stories and experiences, they also help me realize and see that it's possible. So I want to do that myself. And for instance, I might think, okay, I'm now 47 years old. I have two children. Okay, I'm getting old. If I think when I was a child, how might have things. Okay, uh, how would the younger version of myself would like to have someone to coax me or to show me the way, not do it for myself. So I can be that mirror or like this lighthouse to show the way. And I think I was very excited when I realized that because once I realized that in instances in my life that I was truly going for it, um, going through my fear or my insecurities is when my heart was feeling safe and sure. I was feeling in my gut, in my core, that was the right way, and I was trusting not only my inner guidance but also my intellectual guidance. I was able to connect those two things together and go for it. For instance, when I became mother the first time, I remember many guidelines were saying, like, for instance, don't do this, do this. Or, for instance, one key example for me, for instance, is once your baby is born, you can hold it, but immediately try to put it in a separate bed, actually in a separate room. And I was feeling in my heart, okay, this baby has spent 9 months in my belly, always having someone, something holding it or near it. I think it might be unbearable. You won't feel safe if you get to put somewhere outside because when you come into the world, initially you're a little human. You have everything, and toes, fingers, hand, everything that a human can do. But in that phase of your life, you are reliant of your mother or your father, your caregiver. So until you're able to perform those things yourself, you are dependent on them. So I went against the common saying. For instance, I make sure that I had like a crib next to my bed. When I felt that my child needed more comfort, I give him breastfeeding, for instance. I've been taught by many people, and also, for instance, this belief in my culture that, for instance, for working mothers, you should breastfeed until certain amount of time and give your food. So I was mostly in those time that I was really connected to my core, my essence. I kind of knew what I needed, and I got the information. I got the people to help me, to teach me what I needed to hear or need that aligned with my core desire. And not, I don't regret any of it. And looking back last year, I went to a workshop, how to make your own robot. I remember I went because I was curious. I was always looking for new things, how I can put many of my passions and knowledge together in a new form. And I remember it was really nice when I realized that I have this ability, these skills to put something, the intellectual and the creativity part, put them together and created something new. Once I was able to tap into my core essence, just being myself, I was able to collaborate with other women that were there. I was able to show up for myself, or also be that role or person that I was needing in that moment. In that moment, these two ladies were, they both knew what they wanted. I was more like, okay, I don't mind. I can understand the technical part. I understand the creativity part because you was supposed to do a little bit of programming and also craft the robot with crafting materials. It was very fun. And initially, on paper, it seems that it wasn't possible having three different ideas and desires and combine it into one robot. But in the end, it was possible. We did it, and I was really happy. And that made me realize there is my that is my zone of genius. There is where I come alive, and I yeah, can be of value for not only for myself but the people around me with whom I want to collaborate or live together. So there's that. So summer is coming almost upon us. Summer holidays here in the Netherlands, depending on where you live, there are three different zones, you could say. One part north will start the 3rd of the 4th of July. One week after that will be south. I live in the middle, so it will be the 18th of July. So essentially, in 5 weeks, summer holiday will be here. And I thought, okay, how do I want to go in the summer holidays? Being with everything. So I want to create space for myself, discover what I need, how to take care of myself on a physical, emotional, ment- mental, spiritual, energetic level, but also being the mother because in the past I was used to if I want to learn something or try something out, it's common sense knowledge. You will book a retreat, go somewhere, go follow a workshop or a retreat, get all the knowledge, and then come back. But I thought most of the time, once you're there, yeah, for instance, you have the kindred people, like-minded people. Most of the time, energy is high. You are able to put things into practice. But for me, for sure, the challenge is once you are home. And I've been advised by coaches and friends, dear friends of mine, a few months ago when I was having like this crisis of identity, you could say. I was like, okay, my life is not bad, but I don't want to keep performing many roles that and forgetting myself. I can leave for a weekend or a week. But what kind of message do I send to myself and to my children? is then by leaving in spite or anger, or it's not completely okay because at one time I have to come back. So I did something that I thought wouldn't be possible. I stay right where I am. I stay home and start communicating my desires, my thoughts with my family, because I had the impression or the idea that as a mother, a wife, a person in this house, um, that role, I had to be a certain person, and um, I was not allowed. I didn't feel safe to change, to communicate my wants and needs. So slowly but surely, I start doing it, and I thought, okay, for holidays, most of the time we go away for a retreat. Um, yeah, how about we um, do an inner retreat? For many things in our life, we are taught, conditioned, and wired to look for the answer, the solution outside of ourselves. And I think the most challenging part is also, for me for sure, going inward. And I was saying a journey to your authentic self. And I thought journey for me for sure implies going outside. And I thought I want to address this part of my experience these coming few weeks as an exploration. I remember when I was a PhD student doing a research. I thought it was fun to think about new possibilities and how to apply it. And in real time, in real life, that gave me the most sense of satisfaction and also value to myself and the people around me. So I thought, let's do it. I will show in real time how I'm going to about managing, um, knowing myself, this experiment, this exploration, managing the house, being a mother, being a wife, being a caregiver, being an active participant in the society, um, also revamping my business, where I'm coaching and also be a creative, because I'm see myself as a creative, intuitive artist and a transition coach and a sprite self doula. Transition coach because actually from the moment you are born, you are always in transition, you're always changing. A good friend of mine gave me told me an analogy because we were talking about love. Love is always changing, and also loving your children even though they are always evolving. And she pinpointed me a not a much better analogy when your children are born, or even if you have like a niece or nephew, or even like a small pet. um, they don't stay the same way as the first day you meet them. They will always change. And your love doesn't change, it will also evolve. And then that analogy helped me to see, even though my children grew up, are always evolving, always changing, I kept loving them. And I keep telling them that they have to love themselves. But I started to think about myself. I didn't do that myself. So how can I do that? So it was an invitation to myself, um, to see what does me need, I need, um, while being in the situation that I myself. Also, yeah, house managing. We are living in a house is almost 19 years this June, and there are many things that need to be done. Create the life that I want from the place that I am, and there are basic things, fundamental things that is needed. I will share along my way, and you can join in, share your opinions, your thoughts about it. because, for instance, if you have the ingredients to make, for instance, soup, but you don't know what exactly you need to do or in which order is good to put the ingredients together, you won't get a good soup. Or actually, with the same ingredients that you would make like a vegetable soup, you can make a really good salsa if you use another technique. And if you use like more warmth, you will get a really savory sauce. So I really believe once you understand what your basic needs is, and if you are able to feel safe, seen, heard, acknowledged, and then you feel safe in your own skin, you're able to do the things that you know that's needed to be done without forcing yourself. Um, so yeah, for instance, going back like into pregnancy, um, I don't know if you know about it. After conception, even conception of a human being happen in the dark. Nobody knows that there's some women that say they are able to feel when the conception really takes place. I'm not one of those fortunate ones, but normally many great things at the beginning they are very small. They are not visible. They don't get external validation, but that doesn't mean it's less valuable and less important. So taking that into account, I thought, okay, I starting this process a few months ago, actually trying to set up this um, live videos to bypass my critical mind. Um, it has been going on for a few weeks. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I was able to put the first last thing into place. It didn't go through as I thought about it, and I thought, oh, I failed. But I remember, no, those are the small steps that even I didn't for the public eye or I didn't get the external validation that I did something. It didn't mean that it was less valuable. So I made the first step. So this the first takeaway I would really love to give in this stream today. And also the second one, after the first conception, cell division, um, the cells are growing, the embryo, and the first thing that is formed is the first heart cell, the first beating. During my PhD, I was doing experiments. I was working with embryonic cells. I was able and fortunate enough to see this process in a petri dish. And after the first heart cells and the heart is started to form, then a neural network will be formed. And also realizing this, I thought, okay, it's funny. For whole our life, we are trained and conditioned to first follow mostly our mind, our brain, but not our heart. And um, and the most important one is your heart. So yeah, it's funny that sure your brain is important. Only living from your brain, we all know, is not possible. Yeah, it's possible, but it's not sustainable, and it's not for wholeness and whole well-being. Only living from the heart, happy-go-lucky, is not also sustainable in this DNA. So it's really needs like a coherence between your heart and your brain. And actually, I believe that it is a coherence between three, a trinity: your heart, your brain, and your body. Because if you have your heart and your brain only, you cannot live. You have your body, and your body is dependent on the signal of both of them. Um, So, but if your, for instance, if your heart feels safe and your brain thinks it's a go, but your body doesn't feel safe, um, it won't have a change, or whatever you want to do will also be a little bit more strenuous that it needed. So it's a whole yeah experiment. Try to first know myself, what is what I really need, and then while doing that, well, taking care of the other roles and things that for me I deem important. I leave you with one question. um, do you know what you need, and do you know what's contingent upon that? um, because for instance, um, it's not bad, but if you think about wanting to become pregnant, um, mm, mm, almost every time we are conditioned, okay, to take care of this baby, you might even change your habits, starting eating more healthy, exercising, everything preparing for this baby is very good. But for instance, if once the pregnancy is over, you might revert to your habits and things that initially might not be very healthy for yourself. So I thought it's crazy that for another human being, we automatically can do that. But in one way or another, I think we have never learned that it's also important and valuable to know what we need and take care of that. And um, so, do you know what you need, and do you have a space for that? Um, why that question? Because I realized also, yeah, 1.5 years ago, that upon making this home for our family, back by then I was only with my husband. I made sure that, for instance, my there was a guest room, a computer room for my husband. Once the children were born, sorry, children were born, I made sure they had their own room, um, but I never made sure I have my own space in this house. I have many things, and they are tucked everywhere. And I start looking around and talking to other mothers, and I realize um, we are so catered, thinking about making providing room for someone else. So in order to take care of myself, I'm also going to work on creating the time, the space, the care, the energy to take care of myself. So I will leave this stream until now. I will in the future try to do it between 30 to 45 minutes. Um, do a quick recap, and with an idea, a call to action, what I'm going to do. And I will try to keep you update, give you more food for thought. And I will see you the next time. So comment below if you have an idea, if you know what you need, and if you have a space for yourself in your home. And what do you think about this idea to create not only a space for yourself, but like this inner retreat where you just are? Um, thank you for being here. I'm looking forward to keep sharing my ideas, my thoughts with you all. By doing that, also it will also help me get more clear upon why I'm doing this, and it feels great. And looking forward to connect with you all in the next stream, or episodes or other video. Take care. Remember, you're also very valuable. Let's connect, and I'll see you next time. Bye.